Hi guys, thank you for joining me. I'm going to give you some information about the new moon in Scorpio, which happens at the end of this month on the 30th of October at 5:38 in the afternoon. And that's UK time. So if you're outside of Europe, then please take that time difference into account. And this new moon is going to be really special. It's powerful and it's transformative and it's potentially life-changing. There really are a couple of things which set it apart as being particularly powerful and relevant and influential in our lives. So if you have two full moons in a month, the second one is called a blue moon, and the phrase once in a blue moon relates to that because it's rare. The same thing can happen with a new moon, and the second one is called a black moon. Now, this is a black moon. We had a new moon on the 1st of October, and this is the second one on the 30th of October here. And the new moon is when the moon moves up and sits right next to the sun, and it recharges its batteries and it gets ready for its next 30-day cycle. And it's totally black and it feels very personal. It feels like you're going within. So the new moon is a great time to plant seeds of intention, to look at what you want to achieve in the next 30 days, and to kind of rest and become reflective and to look at what's ahead. Now, this black moon pulls in additional energy. So not only can you set intentions for the next 30 days, but you can really look at things that are much deeper in nature. So what do I want to achieve in the next 10 years? How do I want to progress spiritually? What am I here for? How can I progress and fulfill my life purpose? So you're asking the really kind of deep and personal questions which can potentially be life-changing. So you can go much deeper to plant these seeds, but you can also go deeper and you have access to things that are hidden within you. So let's say you struggled with your weight for 20 years and you've tried diets and therapy and nothing has worked. And you get the sense that, there's something hidden that you can't quite put your finger on. Is it a resentment that hasn't been resolved, or is it something that happened in childhood that kind of makes me feel like I need to be safe and protect myself? The black moon is really a wonderful time for you to kind of go there and to identify these things so you can uproot them and get rid of them and clear the space so you can replace it with good stuff. So yes, it's going to feel very emotional and very dark in a way, but it's by engaging with that process and going into the darkness, you can really do some good work. If you're someone who is in denial, who's got a lot of skeletons in the closet, who's got certain things that have happened in life, and you said, I am not looking at that, I'm burying it, I'm never speaking of it again, that is done and dusted, never, 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 then this new moon, this black moon, is going to feel uncomfortable because the nature of it and the way it's going to influence you is that you're naturally drawn towards uncovering these hidden secrets and looking at what's underneath. So, everyone's different. Some people want to therapy everything out of themselves. Other people never look at anything and are just tough and go on. We're all different. There's no one right way of doing things. But just be aware that this new moon has this kind of tendency, and however you feel about it, just work with it so you don't become overwhelmed or you don't feel flooded with emotions suddenly and you don't know what to do. So that is the black moon in itself. Also, Scorpio rules creativity and music, and it's at 7 degrees. So it's a time where you can create real masterpieces and really be creative. 7 is the number of mind and creativity. So, put something together. Make sure there is some output, planting seeds of intention as well. I'm going to do this work and I'm going to create something wonderful here. Now, Scorpio in itself adds more to this as well. Scorpio rules the 8th house of the astrology chart. That's the house of death and the other side and the unmanifest. So anything to do with mediumship, the intuition, connecting, that is going to be heightened by this black moon as well. That's why in the monthly forecast for each sun sign, so Aries, Taurus, Gemini, I've said it would be a great time for a seance, and it really is a good time because even people who don't traditionally feel very intuitive are going to be able to tune in and to connect with higher forces. So black moons in general are very kind of occult in nature, and people who work with the occult are going to recognize this as a special day because the veil is thinner. You know, first of all, we've got the added intensity of a black moon, but not only that, we've got it in Scorpio. And Scorpio is all about diving deep and uncovering hidden secrets and really going beyond, beyond, beyond. So, I mean, we're digging so deep, we're almost at the core here. And that's what this is about, getting to the center of the situation and really either planning super important intentions or really uprooting terribly ingrained behavior patterns. Or, you know, if we're working with occult, affirmations, spells, intentions, any of that stuff are really going to take root in a very kind of formidably solid kind of place and really will have a long life. And in terms of, you know, the occult and all of that stuff, I don't want you to get uneasy about that. I have made a video on curses. Have a look at that if you're interested in that kind of thing. But I really believe in curses and I don't at the same time. Absolutely, I think you can send people negative energy. Absolutely, I think we can protect ourselves and it's good to shield ourselves and all of that stuff. But the thing here with negative energy is the person sending it is never doing themselves a favor, because if you send negative stuff out, you get negative stuff back. So if you're thinking of, you know, getting even with some of your enemies, people who cut you off or who betrayed you or something like that, I wouldn't advise it. It's not a good idea. It always comes back threefold. So use this time to finally move forward with your life in many ways. Look at what you can overcome, what you can leave behind, whether it's plagued you for 20 years or 50 years or however long. This is the time to let go of it. Okay, so we've got the sun and the moon together here at 7 degrees. So it is very powerful in all the ways I've mentioned, but the creative musical side of things is a real blessing of this black moon particularly. It creates a sextile with the North Node in Virgo, and for musicians and for people who have a goal, especially if it's like, I want to take something that's up here via my ideas and I want to make it practical, you guys are blessed and you're going to be supported. And also people who want their career to take some sort of shape. I want to work in the music business, I want to get a contract, I want to be booked by my local church to appear every Sunday, whatever it is, you also will be supported by this. So put those things into practice, it will be a very good time for you. The new moon also trines Neptune and the South Node. Oh my goodness. So Neptune is the planet of dreams and aspirations. It's the water planet. It rules the veil, the gap between this world and other worlds, other dimensions. And it's happily placed in Pisces, a water sign. Okay. So it can't get much more intuitive and metaphysical and occult in nature, because the veil is now so flimsy and thin that you can almost look through it and see, you know, the unmanifest. So for anyone who's interested in spiritual development, you know, working with unseen forces, spirituality, all of that stuff, especially with a kind of occult tinge to it, this is really a super blessing for you. Now, it also creates a square with the midheaven in Aquarius, and this is where I get the sense that a lot of people who have intentions, like, you know, I'm going to get even with someone, you know, that kind of resentment, that kind of like negativity, that kind of blinkered idea of, I'm angry, so I'm going to get you back, I'm going to retaliate. That's really strong here, and that goes along with this. So that's the trick, that's the trap, okay? So you can use this energy for a lot of good, like in creativity and setting intentions and clearing out negative stuff, but the trick, the thing not to do, is to go sit down with a bunch of your friends and start getting out the voodoo dolls and stuff with them. Don't do that. If you're doing that, if you're cursing people, if you're sending people bad vibes, then you've failed this kind of task and you've gone down the wrong road, okay? Because yes, those things can have a negative impact, but you're going to be the one that's suffering from it, okay? Really, if it actually works, it's not a good thing. That Mars then actually then also squares Uranus and Aries, connects with the North Node and yeah, that's fine. So it's a balance between, am I going to serve other people and am I going to help other people by expressing my creativity and maximizing my own potential, or am I going to focus on negativity and be in that domain and mess around with that kind of stuff? Don't bother. It's not going to help you. And I think that's it pretty much. I've made a couple of notes here. Yeah, but I think that's it. So the main thing about this is to finally move on from things that have plagued you and burdened you for decades. That's the thing about this. We're not going to always have these opportunities to delve this deeply. So why not use the darkness, use this energy to say, okay, I'm going to get rid of this once and for all, and then I can leave it. You know, because navigating negativity, navigating the darkness is something we learn to do when our lives are difficult. If you're growing up with people who are narcissistic and addicted to drugs and all sorts of things, you become adept at navigating these darker sides of life. And that's fine and that's okay. But it's not a skill that you need to hone and nurture, because you're only using that skill under duress when you find yourself in situations that you shouldn't be in anyway. The skills we should nurture is to be loving and happy and kind, and to make our lives on the outside look positive and joyous, and to have great relationships. If you are someone who has developed these kind of darker things, like we all have to go there at times because life on earth isn't always, you know, a bowl of cherries, then go there now for the very last time, once and for all, and say, I'm going to dump all of this resentment. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to uproot it and throw it out. And then you're done with it and you never have to go back. So that's how I think the best way to use this energy will look like. If you want me to look at your chart to see, you know, what the things are that are uncleared, the things that are blocking you, the things that are holding you back, maybe the things that need identifying, and also to look at what should you focus on in the future. What is your life purpose? What do you want to be working on? Then please get in touch with me for a private reading. My website is gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab and you can order your reading with me there. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel for updates, new videos, daily tarot readings, weekly horoscopes, monthly horoscopes for each sun sign, little vloggy things that I do as well. And I also do live readings on Facebook, although it's been a week or so since I've done one. So I pull cards for people and answer questions. So if you're interested in that, check that out. It's facebook.com/GregoryScott444. I hope you have an amazing new moon here, filled with fun and enjoyment and all sorts of good stuff, and some work and some clearing and healing. And I hope you have a wonderful time.